So This Is Love by 4 Curious Dad on AO3. Episode 8, Chapter 5. Use Your Left Side, Shouto. Endeavor! A new report about a villain attack has come through. You need to get there. Endeavor's in the middle of a meeting with the sidekicks. Dropped everything immediately. I will be on my way. On his communication device, there was the radio news reporting the scene, mixing with the police sirens, along with the noise of the crowd. There was an explosion 3 blocks away from the headquarters. I'm sending you the exact location. A sidekick informed the number 2 hero. Got it. I'm close now. When he arrived, it was a chaotic but familiar scene that he had witnessed countless times as a hero. People were crying and screaming. The police were isolating the villain activity zone and evacuating the civilians, waiting for the heroes to come. But this time, it was different, because he saw it. In the chaos scene full of smoke, there were pillars and fragments of ice, easy to spot, scattering around, mixing with fire on the cracked of the streets. Only one person came to mind: Shouto. He entered the crime scene rapidly and followed the sound of the battle, only to find out that when he had arrived, the criminals in question was out of sight, leaving behind a wave of heat and a huge fire blast up from Shouto's body. 10 minutes before Endeavor arrived. Boom! The sound interrupted the boys' reunion. Shaking floor, broken glass, loud bangs. Too many things happening in a short time. After the noise and a second of darkness, Todoroki found himself being shielded from shattering glass and bricks thanks to Sero's quirk's action. He pinned Todoroki down, lying on the floor, a hand supporting the back of his head. Something soft trickled his cheek, and Shouto smelled surrounding Todoroki. Strangely, it made him feel safe. Are you okay? Sero raised his hand and turned to Todoroki. I'm okay. How about you? I'm good. We need to move now. Can you stand? Sure. Sero stood up and grabbed Todoroki's arm and pulled him up, just in time to witness 2 mysterious figures who were just 3 tables away from them a moment ago. Now were standing right next to their spot, in front of Midoriya and Bakugo, who were struggling to stand up. One of the figures leaned over and raised their arm towards the boys, when suddenly Midoriya screamed, "Look out!" and flipped the table, where they had just sat, towards the 2, while the other jumped back, quickly, able to avoid the table. The other, who was leaning over, got hit by it. Just this short moment has brought enough time for the boys to jump out of the broken window and run away. Running away is for losers. Let me go, I have to fight! Bakugo screamed, while he was being dragged away by Kirishima. No, Bakugo, we are still students. We won't act until we have orders, Sero said, while running and holding Todoroki's hand. Sero's right, Bakubro, and heroes are on their way. But what about the victims? We have to stay and help them. Midoriya turned around, but suddenly stopped running. Midoriya, what are you doing? Kirishima shouted, making Sero and Todoroki turn their head to look back. But then, all of them stopped to find out that, first of all, luckily, there were no other clients than them in that coffee shop, so there were no injured civilians, as Midoriya worried. But 2, the villains who had attacked them had now disappeared. Where did they go? Midoriya asked. A strike of flame aimed abruptly to where they stood, answering Midoriya's doubt. The boy quickly broke their group to avoid the attack. Midoriya rolled away. Bakugo used his explosion to shoot himself flying. Kirishima being pushed back by the impact while protecting himself with his quirk. And Todoroki made a wall of ice to block the attack, just in time, his waist being grabbed by Sero when he shot out a string of tape and swung them away from the scene. After the first fire came 2 villains, keeping their identity hidden underneath the black hood. But then, apparently, they were having an argument, when one of them tried to stop the other, who had a smoke lingering around their fingers. The one on the left must be the one who had the fire quirk, Todoroki said. They were hiding behind a vacant car after a safe landing, observing the villains from afar. Suddenly, the villain who Todoroki had just mentioned turned their attention to where the boys were hiding. The villain swiped his partner's side. Then they walked towards them. Each step they took was slow and steady, the step of a victory towards a defeated one. He is coming. I will. No! Sero stopped Todoroki before he could say or do anything. Even though you have been trained with your father, it was in the past. Right now, you're a civilian. He whispered. He was right. Todoroki didn't consider the fact that he was just a high schooler, and Sero was a hero in training. If there was somebody to do something, it must be Sero and the others. I will keep you safe, Todoroki, because I'm a hero. The car was hit by an attack. Sero grabbed Todoroki, shot another string of tape, and pulled them up. Another beam of flames cut Sero's tape, making them fall into midair, but land safely thanks to Todoroki's ice spike. They didn't have a moment to rest since the villain destroyed that slide with another attack. Walls after walls of ice that Todoroki built, the villain passed it effortlessly, or tore it down easily. Pushed the two further from the group, until their back touched a building, and realizing they were being cornered. However, the attacker stopped and stood in front of them silently, as if they were being observed. The boys could feel an invisible gesture from the villain, keeping them in a weaker and lower position. Then Sero used this chance to capture the villain. Slim chance, but he had to try. His take successfully wrapped around the body, but the unidentified criminal didn't show any signs of struggling. With just a flash, the attacker easily fled the tie, cutting it down and releasing a string of fire on the tape back to Sero. The tape burned quickly, and was about to get to him before Todoroki stopped it with an ice blade. No doubt the boys had reached their limit now. Todoroki's actions started to slow down. His body was shivering, and frostbite was showing. Sero shrugged, too. His tape became shorter, because he has reached his limit of tape he could read. At this point, Todoroki felt tired, helpless, and extremely desperate. He couldn't find the way out of the situation. In front of them, the villain cupped hands together, prepared to land a final blow. Use your left side, Shouto. No, I will never use it. I won't become like you. You're Todoroki Shoto, a guy who has his own decisions and emotions, who has me. But Todoroki, it was your power, not his. All of it. They are yours. You can become whatever you want to be, Shouto. You can be a great hero. Use your left side, Shouto. I think that is a perfect area to stop it. I think that's perfect. That is a perfect area to stop it. Okay, I'm excited. I'm happy. It seems we don't know exactly who the target was yet. So I wonder if we're gonna figure out in the next episode. Hopefully we will. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. One can only hope we figure it out soon. But no, yeah. Oh my god, I decided to cut it there. I could have went a little. I was deciding on making this chapter a bit longer. Well, this episode a bit longer. But I decided to cut it there because I thought it would be like, ooh, cool, hee hee ha ha, cut it there. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.